Welcome to Coffee with the Coaches, brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee. I'm Corey LeBlanc, joined today by StFX X-Men head coach Graham Kennedy in his 6th season. Hard to get that one out, Graham. How has camp gone so far? You're a couple of weeks or so in, getting ready for the regular season to start on Saturday.
Yeah, we're 2 weeks in, and as a matter of fact, this morning was our first. This is our first day where we're just going once a day with the team. So I like the direction we're in. There's a couple of things we wanted to do this year. One of the things we wanted to do was increase the size of the team. Last year we got into a situation where, as you probably know, we're allowed to dress 18 on game day, and with injuries last year, we actually got down to one point in the season where we had a 2-week spell where we only had 17 healthy bodies. And when that happens, you, of course, you don't have competition for places, and you need competition within the team, and that disappeared. So we've solved that problem. Second thing that we've done is we've added depth at every position. Now, I'm not going to tell you that depth is deep in experience, but it's deep in talent. So overall, we've got a bigger team, we're a deeper team, we're a more talented team, and in every position. So I like where we're going.
This is a team coming off, I guess, a 3-way tie last year for second place in the league. Yeah. Put you as the 4 seed, and of course a quarterfinal loss to Cape Breton. Yeah. And I know when we spoke before about this, 1 point would have given you sole possession of second place last year, and there were a few matches. I know, of course, I get to see the ones here on home turf. As you said, it was just moments in the game, especially after you score goals, that I guess mental lapses, maybe you would call it.
Yeah, we had 2 and maybe perhaps even 3 instances last year where we had scored a goal and within 2 minutes allowed a goal. And in those moments of euphoria after you score, there's always that danger where you become unfocused, you start looking ahead to the end of the game, you think you've got it wrapped up. Meanwhile, your opposition, they're thinking the exact opposite, and so they come at you, and we got caught a couple of times, and we spoke about this in training camp. One of the things that we want to do to try to alleviate that this year is, rather than focusing on what we do as a collective after we're scored against, is what do you do as an individual, and we need every single person on our team after we've been scored against to really get focused on the next 3 things they do. So they want to get the next 3 things right, so that we get through that really dangerous 2 to 5 minute period after a goal is scored, and hopefully the momentum the momentum switches back in our favor again, because there is that natural momentum that swings to the team that's been scored on, believe it or not. We tend in soccer to score and then drop off and defend, and we want to try to prevent that from becoming a part of our mode of operation, I guess. And what we want to do is to try to score, and then immediately, can we score again? And one of our goals this year is, can we score the first goal in every game, and then can we score the last goal? And so you'll see, I hope, a change in the way that we perform after a goal is scored against us. It's key, because that 1 point would have given us, in any one of those games, had we prevented any one of those goals, we would have had 1 more point and sole possession of second place and a bye in the playoffs. And
how important, you always stress that, is to not have to play 3 matches in 3 days.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to do. Our playoffs are structured so that if you finish 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th, you're going to have to play a quarterfinal and a semifinal and then a final in the space of 3 days, and it's a difficult task. Yeah.
You touched on one of the focuses, or one of the things you're pleased about heading into this year, is adding to your depth. So talk a little bit about your recruiting class and
Sure.
who we'll see, I guess some new faces we'll see on the pitch Saturday and beyond.
Sure, I'll start at the back. We've added in goal a young man named Thomas Pirouet from Conception Bay South in Newfoundland. He is a provincial team goalkeeper out of Newfoundland, former Team Atlantic player, National Training Center player. he just recently, 2 nights ago actually, 3 nights ago, he flew back to St. John's to play in the senior final, and his team, Holy Cross, they won the final and now head on to nationals. So he's got, for a young player, he's got some great experience in goal. He's just a shade under 6'6", so he gives us some really great height. I'm quite proud that we were able to win the recruiting battle to get him. There was a lot of teams that were trying to get him to come, and he's got great character, great ability, fantastic athlete. If I move out from there into our back line, we've added a couple of players that can play in the back, probably most notably Aaron Thibault from Prince Edward Island. Aaron comes out of the Soccer One Academy in Prince Edward Island, former provincial team player in PEI. Really confident on the ball, got a good change of pace, can defend 1v1, highly coachable, and I know a kid that's going to be a key defender for us down the road. Looking into the midfield, probably our top recruit this year on the men's side, I think, is Liam Elborn. He is a former Team Atlantic player and also spent 2 years with the Vancouver Whitecaps in their residency program, and that is a program for top players. And so Liam brings a lot of things to the table. He's got some terrific experience. He's played in a lot of top-notch games. He can pass the ball, he can receive the ball, he can score goals, he can change the tempo of a game, and he's just an absolute player. He just loves the game, and I think that might be his biggest attribute of all, is his passion for the game. Look up front, we're bringing back Kareem Henry, who played for us in the past, and Kareem transferred and played at St. Mary's, and he's returned to StFX to study education. He's enrolled in the Bachelor of Education program, and fortunately for us, he's got a couple of years of eligibility remaining. Kareem brings some maturity to the squad and some experience. He's one of the older players on the team, and I think is a really strong, in particular, he's strong. His on-field presence, his leadership on the field is very, very good. So I think that would probably summarize our. There are some others. It's a fairly big recruiting class, but I think that's the main part.
And all those ingredients, new and almost new with Kareem, join a lot of returnees, the likes of Randy Ribeiro and Nathaniel Tekel in the midfield, who were all-stars last year. On the back, Ryan Ashley, and so many others. So you had a strong core as well coming back. Yeah,
we did. And then, there are some other young players I think that are gonna fit in the mix here. There's some of them that have come to camp injured. For instance, there's another freshman named Dustin Benetti out of Calgary Foothills, one of 3 Calgary Foothills players who have come in this year. We haven't seen him play yet. He had surgery in August, early August, on his nose. He'd broken his nose twice in the space of 2 weeks. He's a big athletic center back, but we're still waiting to bring him into the fold. And he's got a teammate named Ben Herringer, who's a striker. He's come into camp injured, so we haven't had a chance to see him. So there's a number of players. Mark Harper, another returning player who's been injured. So if I could be critical of one thing, it's probably we're not as healthy coming into camp as I would like, and I think if we can get everybody returning back to full health over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think we're going to be in good shape.
I'll call it style when people come to see you or watch you on our webcast. If things are cooking, what will we expect to see, or what should we see if this team gels and is playing well?
Well, I think we're a very technical team, so I think you would see us very capable of keeping the ball on the floor. I think you'd be able to see us play through teams as opposed to having to play over, and as opposed to playing a direct style where we're playing long balls and trying to win knockdowns and win scraps further up the field. I think you'll see a team that could keep possession of the ball, that can advance the ball through the thirds of the field, generating half turns as we move along, and you know, getting large numbers of players forward with possession. I think we're capable of doing that, and I don't think there's a lot of teams in the AUS that are capable of doing that. I think you'll see spells of it from certain teams. Certainly you'll see Cape Breton. You know, they've demonstrated that they can do that, and then but other teams you'll see more of a mix. I think I would describe us as probably a strong, I hope, possession-based team that can penetrate across the entire width of the field, both flanks and centrally, and hopefully a team that will get more disciplined in choosing shots wisely. That's my hope.
I know there are circumstances such as health, and you're dealing with that already with players being injured during camp or gimped up, whatever we want to call it. But taking that out of the equation, that knock on wood, things go well, the lineup's full. Predictions on where you might be able to find yourself on the table, and I know that's without having played and seen some of the other squads, but you kind of know what's coming from the UMBs, the Cape Bretons, and St. Mary's and so forth. Yeah, I know when I look around the league, our league was, the last 2 years has been really competitive, and I think I expect it to be very tight again this year. And so in a very tight league last year, you know, we finished tied for second on points. I think we're better this year. I think UPEI is probably a class of the league this year in terms of who they have returning. I think Dalhousie will be strong. I think Cape Breton will be strong. UNB is a bronze medalist at the CIS tournament last year. Moncton are big, athletic, well coached. So in a tough league, it's difficult to make predictions, but we'd be very disappointed if we didn't make the playoffs, and I think most people would be surprised if we didn't. And I think if we didn't finish top 2, certainly that's a goal for us. I think we'll be disappointed not to finish with an opportunity to earn a playoff bye. That would be a goal for ours. I mean, I know it's a common goal but I think we've got a legitimate chance at that this year. So a lot of things have to go right for that to happen, but I think that's a safe prediction is playoffs and contention for top 2. So let's grab our Tim Hortons and say cheers to a playoff bye this year in the AUS for the StFX X-Men. So again, that was Graham Kennedy, head coach of the StFX X-Men, on StFX's Coffee with the Coaches, brought to you by Tim Hortons, Canada's favorite coffee. For the coach, Graham Kennedy, I'm Corey LeBlanc.